The cargo ship Distant Horizon had been adrift for 3 days when the Krathaxi war fleet found it. The vessel listed through the void, its hull breached in 17 places, life support failing, distress beacons screaming into the uncaring dark. Commander Raxthor of the Leonid species moved through the wreckage with practiced efficiency. His golden mane, which marked him as a member of the proud warrior caste, caught the emergency lighting as he surveyed the carnage. Behind him, Scout Vorkai, a Lupari tracker whose silver fur bore the scars of 100 hunts, sniffed the recycled air for signs of life. "Raiders," Vorkai growled, his elongated snout curling in disgust. "The Verkathi Syndicate. Their plasma signatures are all over this ship." Raxthor's tail lashed in anger. The Verkathi were slavers, the worst kind of predators who preyed on the weak. "Survivors?" "One." Vorkai's ears perked forward. "This way." They found her in what remained of the medical bay, a human child no more than 8 solar cycles old, clutching a stuffed animal that had seen better days. Her dark eyes were wide with terror, dried tears streaking her face. She wore a torn yellow dress and her small body trembled as the 2 massive aliens approached. "Easy, little one," Raxthor rumbled, lowering himself to appear less threatening. His species stood nearly 3 meters tall, all muscle and feline grace. "We are not here to harm you." The girl pressed herself against the wall, whimpering. Vorkai approached slowly, making himself as small as his 2-meter lupine frame would allow. "We are friends," he said softly in Galactic Common, though he doubted she understood. She didn't speak for hours. Not when they carried her to their ship. Not when they wrapped her in thermal blankets. Not when they offered her food and water. She simply stared, clutching that ragged toy, lost in whatever horrors she had witnessed. "The manifests say she was traveling with her parents," Vorkai reported, his voice heavy. "Colonists heading to New Terra, 23 souls aboard. She's the only one who made it." Raxthor's claws extended involuntarily, scraping against the metal deck. In his 40 years of military service, he had seen countless atrocities. But something about this silent, broken child struck a chord deep within his warrior's heart. "We hunt them," he declared. "The Verkathi who did this. We find them, and we make them answer for their crimes." "Commander," Vorkai began carefully, "our orders are to return to the fleet. The war with the Krathaxi continues. We cannot. We will make them answer." Raxthor's voice held the unmovable quality of a mountain. "This is not negotiable." For 3 weeks they tracked the Verkathi ship across 4 systems while the girl slowly emerged from her shell. She learned their names, though she pronounced them strangely in her human tongue. She began to eat, to sleep without nightmares every night. She taught them human songs, simple melodies that seemed impossibly cheerful given what she had endured. Her name was Emma. "Why do you help me?" she asked one evening. Her small hand resting on Vorkai's massive paws, he taught her a Lupari card game. "You're not my family." The scout's ears drooped. "Because it is right," he said simply. "Because you needed help and we were there to give it." "But you're missing your war," Emma pressed with the brutal honesty of children. Rax said his commander is angry. "Some things are more important than war," Raxthor interjected from the doorway. "You are one of them, little star." They found the Verkathi in the outer rim, their ship fat with stolen cargo and enslaved beings. The battle was brief and decisive. Raxthor fought with a fury he hadn't felt in years, while Vorkai moved through the enemy vessel like a ghost of vengeance. They freed 27 slaves of various species and recovered the personal effects of the Distant Horizon's passengers. Among them, a datapad with thousands of images, a family's entire life captured in digital amber. Emma cried for hours when they gave it to her. But these tears were different, cleaner somehow, washing away some of the darkness. She showed them pictures of her parents, her home, her dog named Biscuit. She told them stories, and through her words, Raxthor and Vorkai came to understand something profound about humanity. They were fragile, these humans, individually weak compared to most spacefaring species, short-lived, slow to mature, yet they possessed something that neither the Leonids nor the Lupari had fully grasped. The humans called it love, though the word didn't quite translate. It was more than affection, more than pack bonding. It was a fierce, irrational commitment to one another that transcended survival instinct. Emma's parents had died protecting her, hiding her in the medical bay's radiation-shielded compartment. The ship's crew had died buying time for distress signals to reach anyone who might care. When they finally delivered Emma to a human colony, a crowd gathered. Families came forward, each offering to take in the orphaned girl. No questions about bloodlines or tribal affiliation. Just open arms and open hearts. An elderly woman approached Raxthor and Vorkai as they prepared to depart. "Thank you," she said simply, tears streaming down her weathered face. "Thank you for bringing our girl home." "She is not your kin," Vorkai observed, confused. The woman smiled through her tears. "She's human. That makes her ours. That makes her everyone's." On the journey back to their fleet, neither warrior spoke for a long time. They had both seen their share of species unity, the Leonids' pride bonds, the Lupari pack loyalties. But this was different. Humanity's bonds transcended biology entirely. "Commander," Vorkai finally said, "when we return, I wish to request assignment to human allied sectors." Raxthor's mane rippled with satisfaction. "I was about to issue that very order." He paused, watching the stars streak past. "We saved one child, and in doing so, learned why the galaxy's youngest species deserves our protection. They are weak in body but mighty in spirit. And that spirit, it changes those around them." "It changed us," Vorkai agreed quietly. "Yes," Raxthor rumbled. "A small human showed two old warriors that strength is not merely measured in claws and fangs. We saved her life, but she gave us something far more valuable." "What's that, Commander?" "A reason to fight that extends beyond duty and honor. She reminded us what we're actually protecting when we go to war." He pulled up Emma's last message, recorded before they'd left. In it, she smiled and waved that ragged stuffed animal tucked under her arm. "Thank you for being my family when I had none," her small voice said. "You're heroes. My heroes." Raxthor closed the message and stood, his posture radiating renewed purpose. "Send a message to Fleet Command. Tell them we're returning, and tell them that from this day forward, humanity is under the protection of Commander Raxthor and Scout Vorkai. Any who threaten them threatens us." Vorkai's fangs gleamed in a lupine smile. "For the little star?" "For all of them," Raxthor corrected. "For the species that showed us that being strong means protecting the weak. And that family is defined not by blood but by choice." The two warriors stood side by side, watching the stars, no longer just soldiers following orders. They were protectors now, guardians of something precious and rare in a harsh galaxy. Humanity had given them a reason to fight, and they would never forget it.